Hi, BJ from Fireside Studios. Today I'm going to show you how to send a condenser mic through a hardware compressor and into your DAW using nothing but a Focusrite Scarlett interface. No hardware preamps necessary. We can use the preamps that are in the Scarlett to send through the hardware compressor and then into the DAW. So first things first, you're going to need a few things. You need a condenser microphone, of course. You need an XLR cable to connect your condenser to your interface. You're going to need at least 2 TRS patch cables. You need a hardware compressor, obviously, and you need a Scarlett interface. This is a 4th gen 18i20. Pretty much anything with more ins and outs than a 2i2 will do just fine. You could probably make it work with a 2i2, but it might be a little tricky. But this tutorial should work for most any other 4th gen interface anyway. So to get started, let's connect some things up. You're going to need to take your XLR cable, you're coming out of your condenser mic, and we're going to go into channel 1 of the Scarlett right here. Coming into channel 1 on the front because it's really accessible. And of course, right now you're hearing the microphone from my camera, you're not hearing this because this isn't turned on yet. You can see, you can see from my screen that there is no meter for test vocal down there and nothing coming into Focusrite Control 2. So we've got to turn on the phantom power, first things first, to get the mic going. And then we get a level. So now we've got signal to the microphone and into the 2i2. You'll see on Focusrite Control, it's registering, maybe a little hot. We can turn it down a little bit. But it is not registering in the test vocal. The test vocal, the input, let me just show you this. This is a song I'm working on, don't worry about that. The test vocal, the input is input 2. S2 stands for Scarlett 2. It's a custom label. So it's actually set to be recording from the second input. And since nothing is coming into the second input, it's not recording anything. So we've got this connected. The next thing we're going to do is from the back of your Scarlett interface, and I'll put a diagram on the screen, it has several outputs. Probably 1 and 2 are going to your speaker monitors. On mine, 3 and 4 are going to an alternate set of monitor speakers. And then all the rest of them are pretty much free to do whatever I want. I have a patch bay up here so I don't have to reach behind the thing and connect, but all you have to do is take one of these patch cables, and we're going to connect on mine. We're going to come out of what is send or output number 9, which is mapped to 17 in my patch bay, but don't worry about that. And then from the output of the Scarlett, we're going to go into the input using the TRS cable of the hardware compressor, which for my patch bay is way over here. So I'm going from the output of the Scarlett to the input of the compressor. Then we're going to go from the output of the compressor, and we're going to go into the TRS connector on the Scarlett. So my wiring currently is microphone into Scarlett channel 1, Scarlett output 9 into the input of the hardware compressor, the output of the hardware compressor into channel 2 of the Scarlett. All right, now you'll see we've got this all wired up, but nothing is coming through. There's no meter bouncing, unless I tap it. There's no meter bouncing on the compressor, and there's nothing coming in the input here. So we've got a decent gain set here in Focusrite Control 2. So the next thing we're going to do, we're actually going to go to the routing section on the left here. And I don't know if you've messed with this yet or not, but this is a super powerful tool that you should make use of. You can see right now my main outputs are 1 and 2, and they're playing playback 1 and 2. My alternate outputs are outputs 3 and 4. They're also playing playback 1 and 2. Playback 1 and 2 just means that's the stereo signal your DAW is sending out to the interface. And if you look over here at analog outputs, these are, let's see, output 1 and 2 is already taken over here. Outputs 3 and 4 are already selected over here. Outputs 5 and 6 are set to playback 5 and 6, 7 and 8, playback 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 9 and 10. We're going to do something a little different here. We're going to take outputs 9 and 10, and we're going to set them to mix C. You'll see my headphones 1 and headphones 2 are using mix A and mix B, which we could do a whole other video on how to use these mixes with headphones and other things if you'd like. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that video. But we're going to set this to mix C. Now we're going to come over here to mixer, and up here at the top we're going to choose mix C. That's the one I'm using. And you'll see here it says routed to output 9 and 10. Now I'm going to turn this analog 1, which is the channel 1 coming into the interface. We're going to turn this up, and oh, now we're getting audio coming through magically. So what I've done here is I've turned up this microphone input in mix C. Mix C is being sent straight to output 9 and 10, which means it's going to output 9 and going to the input of the compressor. I could actually pan this to the left, which would send it only to output 9. And you notice if I pan it to the right, now we get no audio to the compressor again because it's going to output 10. So we'll pull it back over to the left here. This is output 9 through the compressor, and then it's coming back in. Let's go to the inputs. Now it's coming back in input 2 on the Scarlett. And you'll notice in my DAW down here, test vocal now has a signal. And what you've been hearing since I turned this up is the audio being captured on the computer. So that really is about it. You can play with the level here. I have it set to 0, which should be a line out level. On my compressor, now you can see the needle bouncing when I speak. I have it at 20 to 1 to make the needle bounce a lot. And you can adjust your input and your output here. You can adjust your input gain here. You're going to want to keep the number 2 input gain pretty low because this is a line level signal coming back in from your compressor. And you know, your settings are here. Now just remember, whatever you track this way is printed. You can't change this. This is going into the DAW, and your DAW is not recording the raw signal. Now, if you really wanted to, you could, let's just create another track, and this is going to be input 1, create, and now we've got both. Input 1 has the raw mic signal. Input 2 has the compressed mic signal. So that's a really interesting way. You could capture the raw input and the compressed input or processed input. I think that's about it. If you've got any questions about how I'm doing these things, please leave them in the comments. I'm going to leave some links below. They're affiliate links. If you like this video and want to help out the channel, you can use those affiliate links. I'll put in there this 76KT Klark Teknik compressor. I'll put a link to the Scarlett 18i20, and maybe I'll throw in some links to some cables. I don't know if this mic is on Amazon. We'll see. This is a Lauten LS208. I really like this condenser mic. End address, really fun mic to use. Anyway, I think that's about all I got. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you want to see next. See ya.